Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. On today's video I have this Mercedes C180. This is a W203 and basically I'm fitting some rear parking sensors, but I'm going to remove the rear bumper. So I'm just going to show you how I'm gonna go about removing the rear bumper in case you need to remove it for any purpose. I'm doing it because I need to obviously pass the wires through these holes into the car, and I just want to see the best way to do it. As a result, I need to remove the bumper. This is a 2005 and this is the Estate version. So having said all of that, I'm gonna start by removing some clips and a 10mm bolt that is on this side. So let's get that. I'm gonna get the camera turned around. Okay, so just try to put a bit of light in there. Basically behind this cover here and just up there, let me get this, might not need this light actually. Right, in here, up there, there is a 10mm bolt that we need to remove. That 10mm bolt there, which I've already undone myself. So I'm gonna get my, 10mm socket up there and just finish removing that. And can then take it out. It'll all be a lot easier obviously with your two hands, but nevertheless I'm just trying to show you that procedure. Now with one of these, I've gone ahead and taken these two out. So you just pull the center out and then you'll be able to remove these clips. But you will find a few more in there. Now I'm just going to, this cover here is supposed to be secured somehow with a clip, this clip here that's fallen out. So that's supposed to be somewhere here, securing this to the bumper. But this one was a bit loose, but you just basically you lift it from this side and then you can take it out, and then that will release this. I don't think we need to remove the whole of that, but in there you will see one of those other clips again down there, which I already again undone. It was a little bit hard to find that one, to be honest. Let's get this light somewhere. It was a little bit difficult to find it because it was buried behind all the mud, so I had to clean all the mud in order to get to that one. And then there is another one just there, and that also was hiding in there, pretending not to exist. So there we are. Now we have 4 of those and a clip. But don't want to lose things, so I'm just gonna keep that and the 10mm. So all of these belongs to this side. Same procedure will be carried out on the other side, and that will release your bumper here and here. So now we have that area released. I don't think there is any more screws that we need to undo in here. I don't think so. I think this will basically slide out when we push it, but we need to release some nuts up there, and also we have these clips here. This one I already taken out, but basically all you want to do is open that bit there and you'll be able to pull this out. Same thing here. So if you get something like a screwdriver, open that bit and then pull the bumper out. That's the idea. But I'm gonna have to do that with my two hands. And we're getting there. Okay, once you remove all of that on the side of the bumper and the clips down here that we talked about, just pull them out, basically all of them, so they can be free. Same on both sides. Then if we move into the car, you may notice I already lifted that cover that sits here, and then that cover is also here. It's just a pull out. It's got two little clips on the sides, I think, clips onto the side, and obviously that reveals your wheel here. But the reason we remove that is because we need to take this 16mm nut here, and we need to remove the one here, which I already removed, which is one of these. And also there's another two 16mm and a 10mm we need to remove from inside of there and inside of that side. So if you take these covers out as well, take that one out, you will find that, well, on this side actually we need to remove this container here, and for that you need to remove two Torx screws, which I already removed. They are T20s, two T20s, and then you'll be able to take this out, put it to one side, and in there is the two 16mm nuts. That we need to remove, and also the 10mm, which is somewhere here, on there, and there will be another 10mm hiding over here, as you can see it there. Again, I've already removed it, so go ahead and remove that. It will be the same thing on this side. So take this cover out. Let's get it out of the way. And obviously I've already removed the 16mm there. I've already removed the 16mm from down there, and the 10mm that goes there. But we need to access the other 10mm that holds onto the bumper. Now you may have seen that move by itself. That's because I already removed the Torx that holds this toolkit in place. These T20s, there's 4 of them. There is one there, 2, 3, and the 4th one is here. With all of those removed, you'll be able to take this whole thing out in one piece. It's a little bit heavy. And that will reveal the 10mm that we need to undo right there. So let's try to undo that. Shall we? Okay, the other one came out with a washer. The little washer that's in there. Anyway, doesn't matter. Now, keep all your things together. All of this belongs to one side. And then we have the other ones, which I haven't taken out yet, but I've taken out. Okay, having been able to remove all the nuts and the bolt from there, and obviously all the retaining clips from here and this side, we should now be able to pull this bumper out. It should come out without much drama, really. Just needs to slide out. Okay, although we are ready to remove this bumper, one thing I didn't see is that the exhaust mount is actually mounted onto the bumper. So before you can remove the bumper, you need to disconnect this here, otherwise you won't be able to pull it out. But otherwise there's not much else holding this bumper in there, so you can just freely pull it out. But obviously I haven't removed the mount there, but you'll be able to pull this out like so. It will just come off, but it might be a little bit heavy, so just make sure you do it with someone else, so it doesn't fall out and it gets damaged. Now in this case, I don't really need to remove the whole bumper. I just need to find a hole where I can run my sensors into here, where I'm going to fit the box, the unit that holds the sensors. Okay, so these are the sensors I'm gonna be fitting in this car. Sorry about the mess here. I already opened everything. This is the unit that controls the sensors, all the wiring and the cables, and the little siren there. And you will get a drill. This drill will actually be the correct size for you to drill for this, to push these little sensors in place. So just make sure you read your manual properly, and also drill the holes in the correct place. But basically they ask you to measure where you're gonna fit the sensor. You have to have between 45 and 65 centimeters from the ground. In this case, the car is elevated, so but I already measured it when it was down on the floor. So if you measure from here to the floor, it's gotta be at least 45. If it's below 45, they don't recommend fitting the sensors. If it's above 65, so if it's up here, if the bumper was sitting up here, they also don't recommend fitting the sensors. So make sure, in this case I had about 50 from the ground to this point here. I had about 50 centimeters, and then they give you around 45 centimeters for each sensor. But I did a little bit less because the holes sitting behind these sensors the hole sitting behind this cover here are basically where I drilled them. If I measured 45 from here, it would be here, and that would be a problem because I have behind this there's no hole, it's a plastic cover. But here you have just about have a hole, well, like this one here, where your sensor can go in and your wiring can go in. Otherwise you'll be stuck with something like this. So it's just a bit of common sense, I guess. But I put this yellow tape in order to be able to measure the distance from the middle here, and then measure this way and this way. But now I found a hole, so I just removed this little grommet here from that hole there. Basically that hole there. Yeah, that little rubber grommet was there. That hole comes out of here, which means I can then run my cables that go from the sensors into the car. That's what I need to do. So let me run the sensors and we'll see how we go. Okay, just a little bit on the progress here. So I'm feeding the cables here through the hole here, obviously, and through the hole behind this. If you're doing it on this particular vehicle, this hole behind here has an opening on this end, so I can just about feed it through there, if you can see that. So all of them have a hole like that, so I'm able to feed them through there, and then all wires are going through into the hole there. So there we are, that is coming through there. And at the same time, you have this little box. You have A, B, C, and D. So what I'm doing is I'm doing A, B, C, and D. So as I go along, I'm plugging this into the corresponding letter. So at the moment I have a C here. This is C. I'm just gonna tidy up the cable a little bit like this, and just hold it with that and plug it into the box. And then I'm going to also decide where this box is going to go. And in this particular car, I think I'm going to put it in here, so it's kind of protected somewhere there, or even, no, I can't put it there because the toolkit screws onto there, so it's gotta go behind somewhere here. Maybe, I think somewhere there might do the job. We'll see as we go along. But obviously if you're fitting it into a different car, you need to find a way of getting into the car like that. This is obviously the C-Class Estate, and there's plenty of room here, so maybe a little bit easier for this car, but then again, you'll find ways on any vehicle really. Right, I'm gonna carry on and then I'll keep filming. Okay, so I'm just fitting the little sensors in here. So one thing to notice, obviously you're gonna read your instructions, I'm sure. There is a little note that says up there and an arrow. So we want to put the sensor like this, in with the arrow pointing up. You have another little arrow there. And also when you make the connection here, make sure you screw it all the way in. You screw this little head all the way in, because it can be a little bit difficult a little bit hard to screw. It feels like you can't screw it anymore, but you can. So that plugs into there basically, and then this screws onto that. But it gets a bit hard, but you have to keep doing it. So I'm gonna do it with my two hands, but it goes all the way in. And then you have your little up arrow, so this is gonna go like this in there. And you may notice this is a little bit offset as well, so it can sit properly around this opening here. If your opening is a slightly different angle, you have in this kit you have other bits like this one. This is a flat one, completely flat, there's no angle in it. If you have your bumper is completely flat, then you can use those. You can just change the little heads on those. Or you have these ones, these have a 10-degree angle on them. So if it's a little bit more round like this, then you can fit the 10-degree one, and then that will sit nicely in there, if that makes sense. These are not too bad. this is not, it's curved, but it's not that curved. So I'm using the original, the ones that came fitted with this, but you can just remove it. You can just open this, as you can see, take this little thing out and change it. The other thing is, I'm actually leaving a little bit of wire in there, so if in the future one of these goes faulty, you can pull it out like this, obviously disconnect it, change the sensor or check it or whatever. But if you put this really tight, pull it here and really tight, then you won't be able to pull this out. So just leave some cable in there, and this is gonna go like this. So you just have to push that in there until it fits in there. And then I'm just tidying up the wires as well, putting some masking tape here, keeping them together. I will put a little bit more here and maybe another one there. Keep the 4 wires together, some masking tape, just keeping things in some sort of order. And then I'm going to push this in as well. If you are again working on this car, I found it quite hard to pull this completely out, so I just pulled this area, as you can see. It's just clipped on, but I use one of these in there and pull that out like so. It wasn't the easiest, to be honest. I did struggle to get this out, but you can do it. Right, I'm gonna carry on and again keep filming. Okay, I just made the wire disappear a little bit. This bumper has a little rail inside of there where you can push the wires, because originally, if this car has sensors, they run the wires through some of those rails as well. So I no longer need to have this bumper out, so I'm just gonna push this back in like so. And obviously I'm gonna start securing it, just reversal of removal really, but I will do that later. Also, this can potentially be pushed in a little bit hard, but we can do it. Also, you can get this color coded, or I mean, I bought the black ones, but you can get white or different colors from that make, the Steelmate. Right, let's carry on here. So this I'm gonna tidy up and plug it into that box. Okay, so far I've plugged everything into the box. So all these wires here, and this one here is the alarm. I mean, not the alarm, but the beeping thing. And these are obviously the ones we're going to join to the reverse lights and the ground. Now this here, your instructions will show you how to fit this, but this came preset. It was like this. So it's showing the distance of the sensors, 45 and 54 centimeters, rear, because I'm using the rear, and that's it basically. You will you can see that on the manual. So I just plugged in everything, and I'm going to put this back here somewhere, so hopefully that will stay there and I can start running my wires through somewhere somehow. Okay, this here is my earth. Now I've connected this earth up here onto one of these, and hopefully that should be okay. Otherwise you can find a different earth, some screw that's connected into the body, basically the metal body. So that's what I connected mine, and hopefully that's gonna be working okay. Next, obviously I have all my sensors already in there, and I have this thing here. It seems like a big mess, but it just basically is a lot of wire that ends up onto these 3 connections. You got the pink, the red, and the white. That's what that is, all of that, and that just plugs into the box. Now, according to the manual, depending on which setup you have, so I'm doing the rear, I'm gonna stick to the rear. Pink and red go to the reverse light cable, the white insulated, not used, and the black goes to ground. These are your sensors, everything already connected. This is the little speaker, the beeping speaker, already connected. And if you have one of these that goes, these have a little LEDs that show you also the distance and the little numbers there. If you fit one of those, you just have to plug it onto the speaker, but I'm not fitting one of those in this case scenario. I'm just fitting the basic beeping system, but that just literally plugs into the speaker wire. There is an extra, so this is the extra wire if you were to run it, and plugs into the speaker. So just plugs onto here, and then you would have to run the wire if you have that up there somewhere or something. Don't know, be nice to have that. Maybe I might actually add it later. So like I said, pink and red have to go together. I'm gonna use one of these to get them together, and then I'm gonna connect the red to the reverse light wire. So if you were to remove, just gonna remove these wires here, and I'm gonna remove this cluster. Now in this particular car, reverse is this bulb here. So if you remove that bulb from here, press it down, take it out, twist it, the positive, the connection that makes this bulb light up is that thing down there. That is connected to this bit here. So let me just put this bulb back on. So that is connected to this. If you follow that, you will come to this point here, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 connections. So is the second one from the right here. Now if I turn this round, is the second one from the right. So 1, 2, this one here. Actually we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connections. So we have 6 plugs, 6 little metal bits back here, but we know the one I'm looking for is this one here, that one there. Okay, because that one goes to the reverse light. Now let me put the cluster back in there. Well, I mean the bulb holder thing. And now if we look at our wiring here, this plugs in there like this. So that means the second here would be one to this blue and grey wire. The blue and grey wire will be what feeds our reverse light. So I say anyway. So we want to basically, probably don't have to go too far from here, but we want to connect this red wire to that, and then we'll attach the red together with the pink, and then we'll see how we go. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, let's have a quick look at what I've done here. I just wrapped all the wire around here. Basically I've got the pink and the red together with this, and then I got the red onto the blue and grey wire, the one that goes to the reverse light. So I just pulled it out there. Instead of connecting it up here, I just followed it a little bit down here, connected to that, and then pink and red to that. White wire, we don't use it like it says on the instructions, so I just cut the tip so it doesn't touch any metal, and I cable tied this with all this original Mercedes wiring here. So all of that. Now we can just tidy this up as well, tidy up all of this wiring, but before we do anything, I just want to make sure that this is also got some double tape here. The double tape for that was in the box, so I took it out and I put it there so I can stick it there. This sometimes can be a bit loud. You can adjust it here once it's on, but sometimes you want to hide it somewhere so it's not too loud. But then again, if you need it to be loud, then you can just you can put it somewhere up here, or some people actually put it outside, but I find it really loud. So I'm gonna put it, I don't know, somewhere here, maybe somewhere there, something like that. But I'll tidy obviously the cables up a little bit. Now I'm just gonna put the ignition on and reverse, just make sure the sensors are working, and then I can start tidying up all the wiring. So I already got reversed engaged, but just get the ignition on here. Right now, if you heard that beep, that's the confirmation of the okay. So you can hear that working because it's detecting my body as I get closer. So you can see maybe a little bit loud. You can press that button, make it less loud. So I'm gonna have it on the lowest setting, and well, like I said, now I'm just gonna tidy all up, and I have to refit everything the way it came out. So I hope this video helps. Don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.